Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks very much for registering and attending today's webinar, which is Introduction to Accounting for Sole Traders. Now, we're actually looking at Accounting Start today. So, you've got Accounting Start, Accounting, and Accounting Plus. So it's Accounting Start we're looking at today. And just to clarify, because we have had some instances of Sage 50 line, or the old line 50 coming on here. So this isn't Sage 50. So if you log into your software by going to your browser and then going to sage.com or wherever you have your login bookmarked, and then you enter in your email address and password, then yes, that is for you. That's what we're doing today. But if you go in and you double click on an icon on your desktop, then that is Sage 50, and we're not covering that off today. Today we're going through Sage Accounting, which is our online true native cloud software. So thanks very much for joining. There are a couple more people I was expecting, but we'll give them a chance to join whilst we go through today's housekeeping, which shouldn't take too long. So I have muted everyone's lines just to stop any background noise or interference that can sometimes happen in a group meeting scenario such as this. But that doesn't mean that you can't interact or ask questions. I mean, I am on my own today. I don't have a panelist. It's that time of year where some people are still on holiday or maximizing their Christmas holiday. So I am on my own, but I will check the question section towards the end. And if I've got a quick second, I'll have a look and see if there's any questions in the question panel. You will also receive a link today with a recording of today's session. And please note, you can download a PDF. Well, I've included 2 PDFs in today's slides, which will have all the links shown for you to use. So one of them's got all the links embedded. So if you hover over the links, it'll activate and you can actually click on them. And the other one's grayscale, so it's there if you still wish to print out. But both of those are available for you to use. So at the end, I'll check that the Q&A section's been looked at and everyone's been replied to. But I can see everyone's pretty much in the meeting now. So we'll crack on and let's have a look at today's agenda. So whether you're starting out as a sole trader or you've been wearing all the hats that sole traders use for years, this session that I'm running today is designed with you in mind. So sole traders, as you'll be aware, are the background of many economies. You're passionate, independent, incredibly hardworking, and it's not easy doing it all alone. And you're doing all the work, you're managing your finances, your invoicing, your customer relationships, your marketing, admin, and sometimes trying to have a little bit of a life outside of it all. Today's demonstration of Accounting Start should address most, if not all, of those situations. So in today's agenda, we're going to cover common challenges for sole traders, how Sage Accounting helps, Accounting Start, the actual demonstration of each section, a mobile app and MTD, how those can help, and then moving forward, what you need regards further support if you want to use our support hubs or speak to a technician. And then again, I'll check the Q&A section at the end. So some of the common challenges we hear about from sole traders include feeling overwhelmed by manual admin and paperwork, losing time on invoicing and chasing payments, struggling to keep track of income, expenses, and tax obligations, difficulty staying on top of customer relationships or project deadlines, not knowing how to use data that you get off the software or make better business decisions. So if any of that sounds familiar, you're not alone and you're in the right place. And the good news is Sage is here to help with all of these challenges, and I'll show you some quick and easy answers to these challenges. Sage Accounting Start provides smart tools built specifically for sole traders that can help streamline your workflow, save you hours each week, and even reduce costly mistakes. Now that's a lot to get through, but I'm going to try and keep it down to about 45 minutes because that's the sweet spot after which people tend to get distracted or it doesn't go in as easily. So I'll try and keep it to 45 minutes. So in today's accounting start demonstrations, I'm going to take you through customers and invoicing. I'm going to show importing and creating contacts, customizing invoices, and in the invoice timeline. Then I'm going to show income and expenses, which is your banking and your bank feeds. And I'm going to actually signpost you to bank feeds webinar that we're currently running. Then there's reporting and Copilot. Well, I'm actually going to show you Copilot all the way through the software because it's so handy and it's included for you free of charge. So it'll give you insights, it'll show you payment reminders, and it'll actually help you create those payment reminders. So AI, as you know, will help you make your emails more formal. It'll help you make them more friendly. Whatever you want to do, the software Copilot is your digital friend and it'll help you through. So let's make a start with today's demonstrations. So the first one we're going to look at, I'm going to bring my software up. Sorry, if you ignore that slide, I'm going to go firstly through customers and invoicing. So I'll bring the software up. Now I'm logged in. So what I've done is, what you'll be used to doing, you go to sage.com, as you can see, or wherever you've got your software bookmarked to, and then you just enter your email address and password, and it'll log you straight in. So it's dropped me here straight into my summary tab. So you can see I've got my main summary here, and it's really obvious that you've got your main navigation bar from left to right here across the top. This is where you access all of your main headings and your main functions and what you'll be actually doing in the software. So I'm going to access most of these in today's demonstration. You've also noticed straight away you've got Sage Copilot. And Sage Copilot will help you. So straight away, let's go in. It's telling me that I've got 5 insights here. So if I click on it, it's loading those insights up for me. So straight away, it's told me that I need to check on duplicate transactions because I enter the similar transactions over and over again. That you can ignore it, but you can go in and review the duplicate transactions and check that you haven't entered any in twice. 2 customers are over their credit limit, and 3 invoices are overdue. So it's going to give me links to draft these 3 reminders with Copilot's help, view the overdue sales invoices, and I can even go into manage automatic payment reminders and go through those settings and make sure if I want to change any of those. And I've got 5 unsent invoices with a total value. Don't forget to send your invoices via email. And I can actually look at those emails by clicking on the link there and send those out for you straight away. So let's start now by customizing the software so that your business has customized invoices, meaning that it looks great and it's bespoke directly for your business from the get-go. So if we come out of there and we go into settings, and in business settings, straight away we can go to document settings and click on templates and logos. So now that we're in templates and logos, you can see here straight away, if you're not using an existing computer piece of software or anything automated, if you're doing things by hand, and up till now you've been using paper invoices, and you want to use the same branding, the same look and feel, the same layout, all you need to do is scan that invoice in and get a PDF, or in fact, a PNG, a JPG, a DOC, a DOCX, however you want to scan it through on a scanner, and then upload that and drag and drop it. You can see here, Sage Copilot will talk you through it step by step. If you haven't got a file, it'll take you through. You just choose a template here. There's 2 templates to choose from in Accounting Start. Choose the template you prefer. I'm going to change my logo. I'm just going to go down. Won't be a sec. Just need to find my logos. Where did I put my logo? Here we go. I'm going to have this one. Here I can resize it, I can reset it, I can actually, play around with it. Let's get it central. I can add up to 2 association logos. Let's have a preview. And if I'm happy with that, look and feel, I can get rid of the preview and save it into the system. And you will get, once you've okayed this message box, you will get confirmation, the confirmation green bar there that comes up at the bottom for a couple of seconds. Now, that's important to do. Whatever you change in the software, whenever you complete the tasks, always look for a save button that will allow you to confirm that that has been updated into the system. So I've updated my, I've customized my invoices. So the next question I want to just quickly pick up whilst we're in this section, it's worth noting that you can enter your next invoice number. So if we go again into templates and logos, it's not that section. If we go into document preferences, you can see here that you can change the number that the next invoice is going to be set at. So if you're migrating over from an existing system, or even if you've still been doing things by hand, if you want your next invoice number to carry on seamlessly and sequentially, you can just change it in there. You can see here, we've got terms and conditions that we can enter in onto invoices. So we can get assistance with being paid faster, and we can enter in any information that you want to appear on your invoices. You also have a note section. And in this case, you can see we've added some bank account details, making sure our customers know to pay us online. So whatever you include in here will automatically generate on your invoices. But again, any changes you make, just remember to preview if you want, and then click on save to make sure that you've confirmed it in the system. And whenever you do, the green confirmation bar will appear for just a couple of seconds. And it's that simple to customize and create your invoices. So the next area we're going to look at is contacts, because obviously if you need to start invoicing, you need your contacts in there to start being able to put that detail on your invoices. So in other words, we're going to set up records for your customers and your suppliers, so that once you've customized your invoices, before you start entering them in, you've got all your contact records in there. Now, you don't have to set up all your contact records in advance. You can set them up as and when you need to do that. But don't think that, when you start using the software, you've got to laboriously sit there and key in all of your records up front. So it's very easy to add records into your software, and you've got 2 options available for you to do this. So you can do it all automatically, or you can do them individually. So if you've never used the software or any accounting software in general before, that'll probably be the one that you want to use, entering them in individually. And you can do that as you go forward as well. And the other option is to import them, right? So let's go up to the top. Here we've got contacts. So if you are using existing accounting software, if you can export that information into the likes of Excel from your previous software, then potentially you can import that information. If you're wanting to use the import option, let's show you that first. So you can do this for both customers and suppliers. So to use the individual customer and supplier option, you just click on new customer or new supplier. To use the import, you go to the drop-down arrow and then go to import customers. Now, this is going to help you. If you can get it into an Excel format, you would just download the CSV template first. Mine's going to probably open up on a different screen. I'm just going to minimize this, won't be a sec. Here we go. So this is the template that you want to get your data in the format of, so that it will pull through without any errors. If you don't use this template, it'll come up with exactly, quite a few errors. If you've designed your own template, it has to be in this format, but it'll talk you through each error step by step. If you want to avoid all that and be talked through the whole process step by step of manipulating your data, there's further guidance available in this help file. And that's all in the help files, which you can get access automatically by going to help at the top right here. So whenever you click on help, you will be taken to help and advice. You can see here there's always little question marks next to headings. That'll take you as well to the advice prevalent to that. So if I clicked on that, there'd be contact help. If I go to help, I've got all access to the support hubs, but I'm going to go through the help section when we go through our help and further support later. So that's how to import both customers and suppliers. You can do that in bulk. But if you want to add records individually, it couldn't be easier. So let's say, for example, we want to add a customer. Simply click on New Customer, and then you want to add the asterisk fields as a minimum. So you will need to add either the business name, so that's either going to be the company's name, or if it's an individual, it's going to be their name. And you can enter the rest of their contact details as well if you have that information. You've got a number of tabs here for things like contact details or regarding addresses, payment details, or any notes you may have for this customer. Now, if I go into an existing record where we've got a customer ready for us, let's go into contacts. I'm going to choose one of my customers here. Let's go, won't choose HMRC. Let's choose Kemmer & Sons. So it's brought up my customer record really quickly. It's one of the customers that I use on a regular basis. So they've actually got an overdue amount at the moment. There's 3 insights for this customer. Let's have a look. So they're over the credit limit. We're being shown their recent sales invoices, what's been paid and unpaid. And for the last 12 months, a little bit of customer insight there. They've made 18 sales in total, and what the largest single sale was. So this is invaluable information that Copilot surfaces for you automatically, and it's being developed at lightning speed, and it will just become invaluable. It's like having an assistant working for you. So further down, we can see there's more tabs in the customer record. You can also change the other main information in these tabs by clicking edit icons. So wherever you see this small pen or pencil, stylus, it will allow you to go in, make changes. But again, whatever changes you make, remember to click save. So I would like to point out that there is no limit to the number of records that you can save into the system. So you've got your invoices nicely customized, you've got all your contacts in there. Next section we're going to look at is invoicing your customers. Again, couldn't be simpler. We just need to go to sales. And this brings, if I can see any invoices that have been created recently. And again, you've got a number of tabs to analyze your invoices for all, any outstanding, any that are overdue, any that have been paid. So this one's been paid. And any that are in the status of draft. So to create a new invoice, all we need to do is simply click on new invoice, obviously. And the first thing that you're prompted to do is choose the customer from the drop-down. Now, if you haven't yet added in your customer, you've always got the availability to do that as you're going. So you can see here, I can go right to the bottom here and click on add customer, and it will bring up my customer record from scratch. But I'm going to use my trusted Kemmer & Sons, add an invoice date, reference, an invoice address, which has been pulled through automatically from the customer record. So we can see here that it has pulled through all the information that it can. We've got the invoice date, a reference, which is optional. But then we come to the main body of the invoice that we need to enter in the description of what it is I've actually sold. So if we type some basic details in, I'm just going to type in annual service charge, if I could spell, sorry. And then we can select the category. Now the category is important, so it allows our software to actually analyze our sale and post it to a particular nominal ledger. So we can do that by selecting from the drop-down, but you can set up your own ledger accounts, and you'll find out more information about setting those up from within the Help Center. But right now, I'm just going to choose 4,000, our main sales ledger. But we'll leave it on that. And then we'll go into price rate. I'm just going to choose £100. And then we need to choose our VAT rate. So this VAT rate is the rate that we want to charge to this particular line of the invoice. And you can specify different rates on different lines if required. So on this occasion, we'll choose standard. So that's 20% in this case, and it'll calculate the VAT automatically for you. If you do need to split this invoice to different parts, for example, if you've if they've got different parts of this invoice have got different VAT rates, you would need to actually come down and split that out by adding that in there. But coming further down, you've got your totals that you would expect. You've got your net and your total here. We've got our notes section and our terms and conditions that was set up on the demo when we looked at these two key areas. Now this information is pulled through automatically from your customer contact information, so we don't need to sit keying that in. However, we can click into these boxes and make any necessary changes. And then when you're happy with that, save it. Now, just before I click save, you can add in any other documentation that you want to by clicking on the paperclip icon. If you've actually got anything on paper you want to add in, or a photograph or a plan, whatever that may be, then in the drop down you can jump to save as a draft or save this and bring up another invoice to add. But let's just click on save. So now we've saved this and created it in the system. It'll be updated in your accounts and be reflected in your outstanding balance for this customer. So now we can see that the invoice has been created, and we've also got a number of options. If we scroll down, we can actually see that we can email this, we can edit it, we can copy it, we can download it, void it, print, add a file, whatever we need to do. Now, most people email their invoices. So if I click on email, you can see here it's brought through the customer's email address for me. I've got my subject. I can send myself a copy so you see myself in. I can attach a PDF of that, send myself it. And then here I've got a draft, but I can actually draft with Copilot. So I can use my draft that's come up automatically, or I can refine it. And refining it will allow me to extend it or shorten it, make its tone more direct or more informal, or leave it as it is, and which data fields I want to include. Suggest, and I can keep redoing that as many times as I want until I've got the perfect sort of look and feel and tone of my email. So you can imagine what a time saver is that. You don't need it, especially I've just demonstrated my lack of spelling ability. Don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about the tone. It's all been taken care of by AI, and it sounds and it feels completely natural because you are choosing at the end of the day the final draft. Once you've done that, let's refresh that screen. Oh, let's email it and actually send the email, sorry. And then let's refresh it because I want to show you what happens if there's a problem. So it's been sent, but there's a problem. If I hover over the exclamation mark, it's not being delivered because it's an invalid email. So I need to go back to that record and then into my own records in terms of the customer, double check that I've entered that in correct, or get in touch with the customer and make sure they haven't changed their email address, whatever. And then I can resend it. Let's record payment against this invoice. I can either, as you can see, record full or part payment. Let's record full payment. Sorry, again, I've not entered in enough information. I just need to choose the bank account and the method. Let's say cash. Now, so I can see by my invoice timeline, it's been created. It wasn't sent because there was a problem with the email. It wasn't viewed because it wasn't received, but I have marked it as paid. So you can see each step of the invoice process, you've now got an invoice timeline that you can see exactly where your invoice is at. So the next area we're going to look at is banking. Now, this is the area that you'll record money going in and out of your business. You can access banking obviously from the top navigation bar. And when you click here by default, you'll have access to 2 bank accounts. So if we go, it's dropped me into banking. By default, it creates you a bank account and it creates you a cash account. You can have as many bank accounts as you like, and you can create new ones by clicking on new on the top right-hand side here, and then use the drop-down bank account. Now, you would just need to complete the quick setup wizard that will actually guide you through that process. It's only about 2 more steps after this, and then you'll have that bank account live on your system. Now, there's a number of ways of recording money in and out of your business. So we've already looked at sales and shown how payments can come in against our sales invoices and how easy it is to record that. But what about recording daily takings that come in or income that you haven't invoiced? Now, if we use new and then select money in, it will take us to the money in page. If I go to summary, on this tile here, you can see you've got a money in tile. Click add, and it's taken me into the money in page. So you can access it from a few different locations, but once you're in the money in tile, we can add and choose a customer if required, but it is optional. So we're not going to use that in this case because we're going to record our daily takings. So we'll leave that field empty, and then we're going to choose the account that we want to record the money being paid into. So let's say in this case we want to choose our main account, that's our bank account, and then we want to choose our method. Let's choose the cash option. The date we've received it. Obviously we can amend this. A reference again is optional, but then you've actually got your date. So the date is there, and you've actually got the flexibility of even putting in a future date if you can get that information so far ahead. We can pop in a reference, but let's say if we put sales as an example, then we need to specify a category. So we need to categorize this transaction so that in the background, the software can do all of our adding up for us. Amount that we receive first would be great. So I'm just going to put in 250. But then I'm going to put our category. So I'm going to leave it as 4,000, our main sales. But like I said before, you can rename these categories if required, but get help and advice on doing that in the help files or by speaking to your bookkeeper. Now the net and the total have already been worked out for us from the 250. So you can see the net's been worked out, total VAT and the total. We can of course amend that if required. So if we've got a mixture of standard VAT rate sales and some was 0 rated, then we would need to break this down into further rows of the invoice. So it's just a case of amending these values if required. But we're just going to keep things nice and simple for the purposes of this demonstration. If we scroll down, we can see our totals. And it's, again, if you've got any supporting documentation, you can add that in, a photograph or plans or an invoice paper, use the paper icon. Once we're happy with everything and we're ready to click save, that's how easy you get the nice green confirmation bar at the bottom there. It's that easy to record transactions. So now we are returned back to the cash book screen and we can see that transaction listed. If you've made a mistake, it's really easy to amend in Accounting Start. Simply choose the transaction by clicking on it. It takes you straight back into the invoice. So maybe we've noticed an error such as the wrong date. We can make all the necessary changes and then click save. And this will be possible until this transaction has been included in a VAT return if you are VAT registered. Once it's been through the VAT return, it's locked down. Next, we're going to look at expenses. We're going to stay in banking, but we're going to look at expenses. So recording your expenses and any other money going out of the business can be done again in a few different ways. If we go to banking and in the navigation, choose money out. Again, on the summary page, the front page, you've got a money out tile. Either option will take us to the same screen to record money out. So again, here we can specify our supplier if we want to. But let's say in this example, we've bought some fuel and we want to record that fact and we've incurred an expense. So we're going to choose the bank account. Again, let's just choose our main account. So this time we're going to say that we've used our debit card. And then we're going to choose the date. So I could be entering all of my expenses at the end of the week. I need to change this. However, if you want to do your own accounts, the system will suit your needs, whatever you want to do, and you can change that date if required. In reference, I'm just going to put petrol. Then again, if we need to categorize this transaction, if you're unsure, don't worry. You can, as I've shown, correct any mistakes. So let's just put £50 in there. Let's have a look. I'm just going to put it as a motor vehicle cost. I know there is a fuel category in there. I've forgotten it, sorry. So I'm just going to put a motor vehicle cost. So I'm actually going to just put fuel and petrol in there as well. So it's already picked up the standard rate of VAT and it's calculated the net and the total. Again, if we need to split this £50 between a number of different categories, for example, if we spent £45 on fuel and then maybe £5 on something else, you might want to break this transaction down further. And again, we might want to change the VAT rate to say VAT exempt. So again, if that was the case, we'd need to break that down into multiple lines, which you can easily do so if required. Again, we can add a picture of the receipt from your phone or wherever you've got your receipts held. When you're happy, just click save. Get the green bar appearing again for a couple of seconds, and that's how easy it is to record your money going out. Whilst we're in banking, I just want to show you bank feeds. So bank feeds are basically a way of integrating your online bank accounts or credit cards with your accounting software. So rather than you sitting entering from scratch, by integrating your bank account with your bank feeds, it makes the process a lot quicker by pulling through your transactions. I'm just going to actually open this up because it does take a couple of seconds to bring through my bank feeds. Just to show you, mine's already connected. If I didn't have it connected, instead of saying disconnect, it would have connect bank account. You'd also have a button up here saying connect bank account. You just click on connect bank account and it takes you through. You got a search bar, you search your bank. There's been no bank accounts that I have been able to find. Then the only thing I can't tell you is what security information you will need, because every bank is different. Barclays uses a PIN sentry. Barclays asks you every time you use it. Some only need like an update every 3 months to the security. Each bank's completely different, unfortunately, so I can't tell you what security questions you will be asked. Once you've entered that information in, it will allow you to connect, and it will allow you to save the amount of time you spend on manual entry to as much as 80%. So like I said, mine's already been set up, but if you want help in setting it up, not only will it talk you through step by step, but there's actually a help center hub that's there especially for that. And if you want help with the bank feed in general, one of my colleagues is actually running a bank feed webinar, which I'll give you details of in a second. So to use bank feeds, all you need to do is go in, click on the bank feed there. Takes a couple of seconds to bring it up. Now, what it's telling me is that since I was last in, there are 135 transactions that need my attention, and it's found 3 straight away. So for each one, I could just view all 3 there and say okay to all of them. But for each one, all you need to do is match, which does what it says on the tin. It's matching it against an invoice I've created. So let's match that off. Create means that it hasn't found a match, but I can create this transaction in the system. And let's just find a transfer, if there are any. If there aren't any in the next section. No, so to transfer, all I need to do is move it to transfer here. And this is basically just moving this amount to my cash account. Done. So I've done one match, one create, one transfer. So you'd go through all of your transactions, then go back to banking. And then obviously the next step, once you've done all that, is to reconcile. Go into the bank account, click on reconcile. And I would go through, either I've got my paper statement in front of me, or I've got my statement online on the screen, go through making sure that everything's as it should be. And then when you're ready, click finish. If I click finish, I haven't done any work on it. I haven't double checked anything. Mine's going to tell me there's a mismatch. So obviously I wouldn't go any further forward at this point. So that's banking and bank feeds for you. So next we've got reporting. So reporting is a key part of any accounting software. And in Accounting Start, you can easily see how your business is performing in just a few clicks. Now you can see from the drop down, I've gone to reports, I can access my VAT returns, my income tax, my ITSA, which is coming in this year, my balance sheet, profit and loss, customizable, trial balance, all of that, all from the drop down. Or if I just go to my reporting page, here is my full reporting set. So you've got your P&L standard and customizable, your balance sheet standard and customizable, and you've actually got your trial balance standard and customizable. What they are, profit and loss will open up in a standard format, straight out the box. Will allow me to drill down. Will allow me to drill down again into the actual data entry screen for that nominal. But if I go back one step, the customizable report is our new smart. So they've got different, buzz names. It's a customizable report, which is also known as a smart report. Now the smart report, which is opening, will allow me to create rows, columns, change data fields, change date ranges, whatever I need to do. So is again what it says in the tin, much more customizable. Changing view allows you to change one of these preset views. You can customize, I haven't customized. So when you make more than 2 changes on any report, it'll ask you whether you want to customize it and save as, and then you can actually make up a name for it. So you could call it, Jan 26 profit and loss, and that means that whatever parameters you've set, you can go back in and run it. You don't have to create it every single time. Change date range is where I can change my preset date range to any of these, or scroll down and customize my date range to those. If I scroll down again, I can choose what extra rows and columns I can group my report data by. I can make it full screen, and I've got filters as well. Sorry, no, I don't have filters. Filters is in plus because it enables analysis types. I do apologize. No, so everything that you can do, you can really change the look and feel in terms of dates, extra rows for your month, your column, year, or just leave it as a total, and your preset views. So you've got those 4. Go back to reporting. You've got those customizable views for profit and loss, balance sheet, and your trial balance, and nominal activity. Your nominal activity is there and your audit trail, so you can see who's done what and when. Your chart of accounts is there. You've got your income, your expenses, everything that you would expect from any software. So you've got quite a detailed, prolific data set there. Any help you need, you've always got support. And I actually run a reporting webinar if you wanted more detail, but that is for accounting plus users, standard and plus. Because I do go through adding in analysis types. So like I said, other reports include aged debtors, meaning that you can see a list of customizers, their outstanding amounts, and how long obviously the balance was outstanding for. And you can drill down on those to see the individual transactions itself. The nominal activity report and the audit trail reports allow you to see the transactions you've entered and when you've entered them. And if you are VAT registered, you can enter in your VAT registration and you'll be fully compliant for MTD purposes. And it's very easy to generate your VAT return, calculate it, and submit it all through the software online to the HMRC. You also have the ability to add your accountant. So if you like to leave certain tasks, maybe reporting, maybe actually submitting to the HMRC, for example, it's really easy to collaborate with your accountant. If your accountant uses Sage for Accountants, you can give them access with a simple invitation email, and this gives them real-time access to your data. Now, to do this, if I scroll up to the top, if I go to my account name and then manage business, I think it might have 2 seconds. Here we go. Manage advisor access. So if you've got an accountant or a bookkeeper that you can invite with an advisor ID, you can do so, or you can invite them with an email address, which an email, and it'll actually open up a new tab. And then they will receive the invite in their Sage for Accountants. They accept the invite and they'll have real-time access to your data. It's that easy. Now, it is worth mentioning at this point that Sage Accounting Start supports single user only. And if you need to give any colleagues access, so they can access your accounts from their PC, their tablet, or their mobile device, then you can upgrade your subscription to Accounting Standard or Accounting Plus, and you would also gain the additional features that actually you benefit within that software. So both levels of the software support unlimited additional users, and you can upgrade at any time, and you can do this within the software. If I go to subscriptions, and then manage subscriptions, You can see here I can upgrade now to Accounting Standard or Accounting Plus. And you've got other options for payroll as well. Great, so I'm just gonna bring up my slides. Where are we up to on the slides? Completed demonstrations. Let me just double check I am sharing the correct screen. It hasn't jumped for some strange reason. Yep, I'm still on the right screen. So I just want to remind you, we've also got the mobile app for you to use as part of your Accounting Start subscription. It's available on both iPhone and Android app stores. And the app makes it possible for you to create invoices and send quotes. You can check balances and record your transactions from your mobile device wherever you are. And once it's installed on your phone, you simply log in with the same email address and password that you set up with your main account. And the mobile app syncs with your Accounting Start web application in real time. So when you next log into your software, you'd see the updated view automatically. So I have included a couple of QR codes here so that you can actually use this slide. If you want to use your phone, simply open your camera and it'll open up the Apple Store or the Android Store at the right place for you. Next hot topic, MTD, making tax digital, which is going to become more and more important as the next few months go on. So it's important to realize that you're already compliant if you're registered for VAT and you are compliant in terms of digital record keeping by using your Accounting Start, by what you're doing. So in December 2022, the government announced a phased approach to MTD for income tax self-assessment from April 2026 rather than April 2024. So this will begin with self-employed individuals and landlords with income over £50,000 from April. And then from April 2027, that'll roll out to those with an income between £30,000 and £50,000. And the rollout to businesses over the 20,000 threshold will begin in April 2028. So following on from that, we're excited to launch a new free webinar designed for sole traders and landlords to get ready for the biggest change in tax reporting, making tax digital for income tax. So as I've just explained, from April 2026, the phased rollout begins and huge numbers of sole traders and landlords need to comply with the new legislation. And this means digital record keeping using software and quarterly submissions to the HMRC will become the new norm. So we've got a session available in February, a webinar. So if you want to book onto that, please use the slide here to click on that link. And the session available is Thursday, February the 5th at 11:15 a.m. So please use that booking link to join us for a clear and practical walkthrough of MTD for income tax, tailored for sole traders. And this session will help you understand what's required and how to stay compliant without any jargon. So to let you know what MTD means for your income, what the thresholds are, key deadlines, basically everything I've just talked about, but in more detail, tools and tips to make transitions easier, and a live Q&A for you to ask your questions. Leading on from that, we are currently offering a free online training course for MTD for income tax with free digital badge that can be used on all social media platforms. So the course is available through Sage University on Sage U or on our website, and I've included a link again here on this slide for you to download and use on your handout. Further on from that, if you need any further support available to you, it's all there whilst you're using Sage Accounting Start. Please use the link at the bottom of this, but I showed you in the demonstration where to access the help file. It's always there at the top right. And when you go in, you've got hubs. Well, firstly, you've got a raft of help that will help you with, it will be linked to where you've clicked in the software, where you are in the software. Then it'll have all the main hubs. There's a reporting hub, there's a banking hub, whatever you need help with. There's search bars that allow you to enter in a word and it'll actually, take you to all help regarding that word. If you scroll down, you've got to contact us, which will allow you to use the live web chat, or if you want to speak to an actual person, it'll give you their technical support numbers. And there's the help file itself. So please use that link, and you've got all the links that are available in the handout included in this slide. Great, so I'm going to look at any questions that have come up today. Please use the question panel in the GoTo sidebar if you haven't already done so. I've explained about the handouts a few times now. I'm just going to have a look now. I'll put the disclaimer up quickly. If I can use my mouse wheel without skipping too many, I'll just leave that on for a couple of seconds whilst I check the questions. So if you wish to leave, thanks very much for joining today. There's no questions in there, so hopefully everything's been self-explanatory. I am going to keep the session open for another minute or so, just to see if anything comes through. But thanks for joining today, and hopefully I'll speak to you again when I next host one of our Business Cloud webinars. Bang on 51, not far over. So I'd just like to say thank you for joining today. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to stop the broadcast now. Thanks, everyone, for joining.